back to the England Model Railway. In this video, we'll be reviewing for Hornby Black 5 in this West Coast Railway's Pullman set. In addition of this, we'll be also reviewing for add-on pack to this set, such as the West Coast Railway's Pullman cars. Originally, I bought this set last year at Lord & Butler for an incredibly cheap price of £150, which is an incredible bargain, considering that Hornby's prices for the Black 5 alone is near enough £230. And just for the price of the coaches is something similar to £50 per coach. It was like just buying the coaches and getting a free locomotive for free, which was an awfully nice bargain. I've also paid £150 not long ago to purchase these West Coast Railway Pullman coaches to add on to the glamour of the Black 5 and its set. It will be a joy to watch this locomotive going around the track. With that said and done, it's time to get this locomotive out of the box, up close and personal, to show how beautiful these magnificent details can be. There she is, our Hornby Black 5 up close and personal. Considering that I paid £150 for this locomotive last year, is an exceptionally good bargain, considering how much Hornby are now pricing up this locomotive now, with a value of £230 on the Hornby's own website, which for a model which was tooled pretty much 20 years ago, it's a bit disgusting on how the prices have gone up. But considering that in mind, this locomotive is still a fine example of Hornby's details and craftsmanship. Up close, the details on the smoke box, the lining is quite superb and a joy to see. I display this model on my display cabinet, and it's just a sight to behold every day when I see it. The livery is well executed and presented beautifully. The only time where the details on this model do show their age is in the cab, where the lackage of detail shows itself very clearly. If you would like to have a closer look at the cab, I would recommend you looking up Sam's Trains review of the locomotive, and you could learn why my disdain towards the modern price has a real meaning to it. The tender is well executed and beautifully presented, just as the loco itself. The lining, the British Wales crest is beautiful. It has pretty much everything what a modern locomotive should have. It is an exclusively beautiful locomotive, and basically, if you could find a Black 5 for less than £200, I would suggest you to buy it as soon as possible, because this locomotive, in my personal opinion, on the looks alone, it's worth the money if you can find it for an excellent price. With that said and done, it's time to bring up one of the coaches from this set and have a look at the magnificent details these coaches have to offer. There is the Mark II Pullman coach. What makes all these coaches special in its set, including the ones in the add-on pack. All these coaches have their own individual names, such as this one being referred to as Vital Water. The details on this coach, including the others, is truly exceptional. From the presentation of the livery and the crests, and the beautifully it being painted is actually quite excellent. And these coaches, being around my layout, and they're quite excellent, and they're easily going around the track with effortless being pulled by any of my locomotives. Considering how small or big they were, they find it quite easy with their metal wheels. In addition to this, I've also forgotten to mention that in this set there is a certificate of authenticity which accompanies these sets, and it's something nice you can put up on the wall and say, oh look, I have the 409th copy of this locomotive set. It's something nice to look at, and it's truly something to remember. It's just for fun and gimmicks, but for the collectors, it's something special. With all this said and done, it's time to talk about the history of the Black Five. The Black Five was designed by Sir William Stanier. Built between 1934 and 1951, an incredible 842 locomotives were built, with a top speed of 96 miles an hour. The Black Five was a mixed traffic locomotive, a do-anything, go-anywhere type of loco, based on the Great Western Railway mogul. In the early days, the locomotives were known as Black Staniers because of their black liveries. These locomotives pretty much went through all the railways of Great Britain, became one of the most successful mixed traffic locomotives in the history of steam traction for Britain. These locomotives, they were so popular, even BR was building them. They were that successful. They continued on in steam until the very, very last days of steam. Drift wars began from 1961 to 1968, to the very last days of steam. Throughout that, there only is 18 left in preservation. The rest were sadly scrapped. But these locomotives were very successful even in preservation, with many of them going pretty much all the way around Britain in railway tours, which is a sight to behold. The bark of the engine is it's just what makes the Black Five a Black Five, and you could tell it from any other locomotive. In other media, the Black Five is available in the Steam game known as Train Simulator Classic, and in other media, it's also known as Dave in the Dark Railway series by Dark DJ Productions, and Stan in the SVRS series by Steaming Westwards, and also the most known version is Henry in the Railway Stories or Thomas the Tank Engine. with that said and done, it's time to take this locomotive down to the track and show us what it's truly capable of doing. There she is, our Hornby Black 5 with the West Coast Pullman set plus add-on pack ready to show us what she's made of. These coaches are truly exceptional on the details. It will be not just fun, it will be a blast watching these beautiful coaches included with this lovely locomotive going around the track. For this running session, I've decided to have locomotives which is known to be in preservation. Accompanying our Hornby Black 5 in this running session is the Hornby Flying Scotsman with some LNER teak coaches. As well as that, we have a classic mainline mogul with some Great Western chocolate and cream coaches. This will be a beautiful running session. I hope it will be a blast. I'm just looking forward to it. Now, with that said and done, it's time to let these beautiful locomotives show us what they are made of. That was a truly epic blast watching its locomotive going around the layout. This is a truly epic locomotive. Considering the fact that the tooling for this locomotive is pretty much 20 odd years old, I would still recommend anyone to buy this locomotive. But for a price of £230 on Hornby's own website, if you could find a Hornby Black 5 for less than that price, I would recommend it all day long to buy this beautiful, exceptionally, epically good locomotive. The only thing that puts me off this locomotive is the fact that the price is such insane for a very old tooling of this locomotive. If it was more up to date with better cab details, I would probably make the exception for it. But the pure excellence of this locomotive running, the quality is so excellent, it's worth it. As I said, if you can find it for less than £200, I would suggest you to buy it. With that said and done, that concludes our review of the Hornby Black 5. If you liked the video, please like, share and subscribe to the Lone Ranger Motoring channel. With that said and done, see you next time.